Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today the D in DC Fans United is going to be for Dynamite, because I am talking about Vampirella #1. This isn't the first time I've talked about Vampirella on this channel. I actually reviewed one of her more recent #1s from a couple years ago, along with a few other things like Vampirella vs. Aliens. So the big news here is it's the 50th anniversary of Vampirella and 15 years of her being at Dynamite. So the really big thing about all of this is that it sold a phenomenal amount, over 100,000. This is of course orders shipped. It's a little different than actual sales to customers, but this is just the first print run, so it could actually break even higher than it already has. We already have 130,000 shipped for Vampirella #1 2019. So that's the most Vampirella's ever sold, and that's a really high number for anything. Batman hasn't even been breaking 100,000 most months. So this is a really big deal, and I'm not as surprised by it as a lot of people are. And unfortunately, the only article I could really find with even a reasonable amount of information was the Bleeding Cool article. And right off the bat, it's crazy because he's talking, and this is of course Rich Johnston, but he's talking about how it's a mystery. Like, how did Vampirella sell over 100,000 issues? Not a mystery at all. I've been saying this for at least 3 years, really since Vampirella 2016 was such a disaster. Dynamite has a ton of cool characters. They have a lot of IPs they've acquired over the years. Vampirella for one, The Shadow for another. All they've been needing to do all this time was take top-tier artists and writers like they did in this case and put them on the book. Vampirella is a much more popular character than they and a lot of people, including Rich Johnston, understand. She's been around for a very long time and is actually kind of one of those just bubbling under the surface, waiting for a decent book to come out for people to buy. So this is really looking like it's going to be that book. For one thing, they're going back with their classic look, unlike that 2016 disaster, but we've also got Chistopher Priest writing, so he's all-star. Pretty much everything he's written has been good, and I really liked his DEATHSTROKE that he did for DC not too long ago. So Ergun Gondas is doing the interior art, and you'll have to forgive me if I messed up his pronunciation on his name. He's Turkish, I believe, and has done a lot of art and comics and things, graphic novels, especially in Europe. So I'm really excited to see his artwork on this. But in addition to his interior art, there's tons and tons of variant covers, which is part of why this sold so well. But that's not a bad thing in my opinion, because although we haven't seen many of these variant covers yet, we know we've got an Artgerm cover. We know Ethan Van Sciver is going to be doing a Cyberfrog tie-in cover, so that's pretty cool. We know just tons, even Artgerm, even Alex Ross is going to be doing one, which isn't as surprising as you might think. He's done Vampirella covers before, and Frank Cho and Adam Hughes are both going to be doing them, along with Scott Campbell, although he's supposed to be on issue #3. I'm a little confused with the Artgerm cover. It's supposed to be on issue 2, but I'm seeing it on the issue 1 promotional material, so I don't really know. There's also a rumor that George Perez is going to be doing a cover because they hint at it. Dynamite teases an upcoming cover and says, as the final professional work of a legend. So if you're a big George Perez fan, you know that a lot of fans call him George the Legend Perez. So I'm like 90% sure that that means there's going to be a George Perez cover, which makes it really hard for me to choose because George Perez, Alex Ross, and Artgerm are some of my favorite, really like in my top 5 artists. And then Frank Cho, I mean, anytime he draws cheesecake is ridiculously good. So I could really see this first print run easily selling all 130,000 copies and then them printing a second run. So it's just really good to see Dynamite actually using their IPs to the fullest. They really have some cool characters that have just been, just not getting the proper treatment. They've, over the years, just kind of had uninteresting stories for Vampirella. They've been churning out cosplay covers, which are fine, but I mean, it's no Alex Ross art, So it's nice to see they're actually taking the brand seriously and stepping up their game. I mean, this is a book that's gonna have no problem competing with any DC or Marvel book, as we've already seen with over 100,000 issues. And the cool thing too is the Vampirella free comic book was issue 0, so be sure and check that out. I'm pretty sure all of Free Comic Book Day comics you can read online for free on Comixology. So that'd be a good way to get into the spirit of Vampirella #1, is to read issue 0 for free. So yeah, just overall, I think it's really good news. You get a top tier artist and a top tier writer. You put it on a top tier character like Vampirella. Vampirella fans have been waiting for something they could spend their money on. I mean, that 2016 series, I loved issue 0. Issue 1 was pretty bad. Issue 2 was so bad I stopped reading. So let's just hope, I'm hopeful this is going to be a good series. I think part of why it's selling so well is Chistopher Priest is on it. A lot of people are confident in his writing abilities. I'm also hoping to do a follow-up video once some of the covers are more available. I haven't been able to find too many actually yet, so I am definitely looking forward to doing probably a follow-up video to this. I might even actually review it. In the meantime, if you want, I do have Vampirella videos I did in the past, but they are from a couple of years ago, so I don't know. Watching my old videos is always a little strange to me. Overall, though, it's looking like most of these comics are also, this Vampirella #1 issues are shipped to stores, because 90,000 of the 130,000 pre-orders are through Diamond distribution, so pretty good news overall. I'm sure Dynamite is just absolutely thrilled, and this is a full-price comic too, so they're definitely stepping up their game to where they can compete with DC no problem. So it's good for the comic book industry though, and definitely good for the retailers and the fans. So let me know down below, which artist cover are you looking forward to the most, and what do you think about Vampirella #1 selling or shipping over 130,000 issues? But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.